For nearly 5,000 years, we have been told a simple and uniform story about the Great Pyramid of Giza. The conventional narrative states that Pharaoh Khufu built this colossal monument as his final resting place, constructed by tens of thousands of workers in just 20 short years. We are taught that these ancient laborers achieved this monumental feat armed with nothing more than primitive copper chisels, hemp ropes, wooden rollers, and sheer determination. But as you look closer at the physical reality of the Giza plateau, a significant problem emerges. Practically everything we have been taught about the pyramids is not actually based on solid, indisputable facts. Instead, it is built upon a foundation of educated guesses, academic assumptions, and centuries-old traditions. What if the real story of humanity's past is not just incomplete, but deliberately protected from alternative viewpoints? At the heart of this enduring mystery stands one of the most powerful and influential figures in modern archaeology, Dr. Zahi Hawass. For decades, he has controlled nearly every excavation, every permit, and every major discovery buried beneath the Egyptian sands. Rather than welcoming fresh perspectives, independent research, or radical new technological insights, the official archaeological establishment has frequently been criticized for blocking non-traditional studies and silencing alternative theories that threaten the established timeline. When independent scientists and engineers bring forward data that contradicts the standard text, they are often dismissed or locked out of the sites entirely. This defensive posturing raises an essential question. Is the strict regulation truly about safeguarding ancient heritage, or is it an effort to protect comfortable academic narratives and professional reputations? When we examine the actual evidence linking Pharaoh Khufu to the Great Pyramid, the conventional explanation begins to look surprisingly fragile. Despite the immense historical and cultural importance of the structure, there is not a single clear contemporary inscription from Khufu's era anywhere on or inside the monument explicitly stating that he built it. The ancient Egyptians were meticulous record keepers, documenting everything from daily grain deliveries and taxes to religious rituals and grand royal military campaigns. Yet they left behind absolutely no official architectural plans, construction logs, or administrative records detailing how their greatest monument was engineered. The sole piece of writing connecting Khufu to the pyramid consists of faint quarry marks discovered deep within a series of hidden relieving chambers above the king's chamber, found long after the pyramid was originally opened. Many independent researchers argue that these markings are highly problematic and do not constitute definitive proof of authorship. In the world of construction, just because a ruler's name is painted inside a structure does not automatically mean they were the original builders. It could simply mean they renovated or claimed it. Furthermore, the very purpose of the Great Pyramid remains a profound mystery. Mainstream Egyptology firmly asserts that it was designed strictly as Khufu's elaborate tomb. However, when compared to every other known royal Egyptian tomb, the Great Pyramid is entirely unique and deeply anomalous. It contains no elaborate hieroglyphs glorifying the pharaoh, no decorative wall paintings, no religious funerary texts, no precious grave goods, and crucially, no trace of a mummy or human remains. The stone coffer inside the king's chamber was found empty, completely devoid of the typical royal burial accoutrements. If this massive monument was meant to be a tomb, the total absence of traditional funerary art and physical remains is an extraordinary contradiction that mainstream history has never fully explained. The sheer engineering precision of the pyramid poses an even greater challenge to the primitive tool theory. Modern architects and structural engineers continue to marvel at how perfectly the Great Pyramid aligns to true geodetic north, accurate to within a fraction of a single degree. Achieving this level of orientation requires sophisticated astronomical knowledge and highly precise surveying instruments. Inside the pyramid, massive granite blocks weighing up to 80 tons each were transported over vast distances and fitted together with such extreme accuracy that a razor blade cannot fit between them. Engineers like Christopher Dunn have meticulously studied these granite blocks and discovered unmistakable evidence of advanced machining techniques, including perfectly circular drill cores and highly precise straight cuts that display uniform feed rates. Granite is one of the hardest stones on Earth, and attempting to cut or drill it using soft copper tools is physically impossible. Modern experiments attempting to replicate these cuts using ancient methods have failed dramatically, resulting in ruined copper tools and almost zero progress after hours of grueling labor. If modern technology struggles to replicate this precision without heavy industrial machinery, it is highly improbable that ancient workers accomplished it using simple handstones and primitive copper blades. Another baffling detail is found within the dark, winding internal passageways and chambers of the pyramid. To build these complex structures, workers would have required a reliable source of light to see and work deep inside the dark interior. The traditional assumption is that they used smoking torches or oil lamps. However, comprehensive scientific examinations of the pristine limestone and granite ceilings inside these tunnels have revealed an astonishing fact. There are no traces of soot, smoke residue, or scorch marks anywhere. If thousands of workers spent 2 decades burning oil and wood inside these poorly ventilated spaces, the walls would be heavily stained with carbon. The complete absence of soot suggests that either the builders used a clean, sootless lighting system completely unknown to us, or the primary construction occurred under entirely different circumstances. This pattern of anomalies extends outside the pyramids to the Great Sphinx. Independent researchers John Anthony West and geologist Dr. Robert Schoch shook the academic world by presenting clear geological evidence that the severe weathering on the body of the Sphinx and its surrounding enclosure walls was caused by heavy, prolonged rainfall and flowing water rather than wind and sand erosion. The profound historical implication of this geological fact is staggering. The last time the Sahara Desert experienced enough torrential rainfall to cause this specific type of deep water erosion was over 12,000 years ago, at the end of the last ice age. This scientific data strongly implies that the Sphinx is thousands of years older than the ancient Egyptian civilization we know, serving as a relic from a forgotten prehistoric era that was later uncovered, restored, and recarved by the dynastic pharaohs. Despite the compelling nature of this geological data, the mainstream archaeological community has largely ignored or rejected these findings. Acknowledging that the Giza monuments might be over 10,000 years old would require completely dismantling and rewriting the entire timeline of human civilization. It would mean admitting that an advanced, highly organized society existed long before the rise of Sumer or Egypt, a concept that threatens the very foundation of modern historical textbooks. The mystery deepens when we look at recent discoveries within the pyramid that remain sealed away from the public eye. In the early 1990s, German engineer Rudolf Gantenbrink sent a small robotic camera up the narrow, tightly confined shafts of the Queen's Chamber. The robot discovered a small, highly finished limestone door, complete with 2 mysterious copper handles. This discovery stunned the world, as metal components are virtually non-existent within the primary masonry of the pyramid. Yet, immediately following this monumental find, further research was abruptly halted by Egyptian authorities. Years later, a subsequent expedition managed to drill a tiny hole through the door, only to find another sealed stone barrier directly behind it. To this day, no further exploration of that space has been permitted. Similarly, in 2017, the International Scan Pyramids project used advanced cosmic ray muon radiography to map the interior of the monument, revealing a massive, completely unknown hidden void located directly above the Grand Gallery. Despite the immense scientific excitement surrounding this giant chamber, requests to conduct non-invasive exploration have been continually delayed or restricted. When we piece these clues together, the absence of Khufu's inscriptions, the impossible machining precision, the water erosion on the Sphinx, and the deliberately sealed chambers, the conventional story of the pyramids begins to dissolve. Alternative frameworks, like Robert Bauval's Orion correlation theory, point out that the spatial arrangement of the Giza pyramids perfectly mirrors the three stars of Orion's belt as they appeared in the night sky around 10,500 BC. Other enigmatic sites, like the massive megalithic precision stones of the Osirion at Abydos, or the perfectly squared, polished granite boxes inside the Serapeum of Saqqara, further reinforce the idea that an extraordinary, highly advanced technological capability existed in the deep past. Whether this knowledge belonged to a lost global civilization that perished during a prehistoric cataclysm or represented an ancient science that was lost to time, it is clear that the true history of the pyramids is far more complex than a story of simple tomb builders. Until the gatekeepers of history open these sealed doors and allow transparent, independent science to investigate without restriction, the ultimate truths of our ancient past will remain locked away beneath the Giza sands, waiting for a generation brave enough to face the answers.